Hello guys. Today the topic we are going to discuss will be CFD analysis for designing a obstruction type velocity probe. The motive of this video is to give you an understanding that if you want to design an obstruction type of probe, velocity probe, okay, then this is the way you could do one simple understanding for that. There might be some manual for doing this thing, there might be some other ways to do this thing, but the basic understanding, the common sense we are having after in be, between the engineering we are doing, this much knowledge you have already acquired. If you are in fourth semester, I think in the mid of your engineering, you could do this kind of you may say analysis or design for such applications. So the question is very simple, that there is a convergent divergent nozzle here, a CD nozzle, D level type of nozzle, and you want to find out the velocity coming out of this particular nozzle, or you want to find out the force of the jet coming out of the nozzle. In both case it will going to work, whether if you want to measure the velocity of the fluid or whether you want to measure the force of the fluid. So if you are going to see this diagram, you could understand that this is a case where fluid is coming out of the nozzle divergent part, and it is striking on this particular plane, on this particular body, which is nothing but a load cell mounted circular plate. And if you are going to want to make an analogy, you could see that it is an analogy of a simple cantilever beam. Okay, so you are applying one point force at the end of the beam. Probably you can say at the end of the beam, and you are having certain length with a certain cross section, right? And so the dimensions of for the given set of problem is that inlet dia, the throat dia, and the outlet dia, and the plate dia, and the cross section of this particular beam has been given in the problem. And secondly, the velocity is given. Then one most important thing I have tried to achieve is that at the throat section I have achieved Mach number equals to 1. I have tried to achieve Mach number equals to 1. Theoretically, I have calculated it as Mach number equals to 1, that is 343 meters per second. And the type of fluid we are talking about is an incompressible fluid. Right. So next is the nozzle specification. The total length of the nozzle is 60 mm, convergent angle is 30, divergent angle is 6, inlet dia is 20 mm, throat dia is 5, exit dia is 10 mm, plate dia on which the fluid will going to strike is 25 mm. Density of fluid is taken as 970 kg per meter cube. Velocity at the inlet is taken as 21.5 meters per second. And as you know that if you are talking about the force, you have to calculate the drag force acting on the body. And that drag force will going to depend upon the coefficient of drag. So for that circular plate, the general drag coefficient is 1.12. So I have taken that. So as per the drag formula, the for and with the given values here, after applying the continuity equation, because the flow is incompressible type of flow, it is not compressible flow, there is no change in density. I have applied the continuity equation and find out the velocity at the exit, and by using that I have calculated what will be the force I am going to get at the end of the nozzle, that is the place at which I am having the diameter equals to 10 mm. And using that concept, and considering there will be little bit losses in between the nozzle and the plate when it is traveling, and when it is coming to the atmosphere, when it is coming in contact with the open atmosphere, definitely there will be loss of energy here. Little bit no, loss of energy will going to occur. Considering all that factor, the force I have calculated is 1800 Newton. The formula which I have used for the drag calculation is half rho a v square into CD, that is the drag force. And then after that I have taken the cantilever beam condition in which I have used this calculation, that is delta max equals to FL cube by 3 EI. And the cross section I have taken for the beams is 3 mm cross 10 mm, that is a rectangular section, so it is having I is equals to 250 mm to the power of 4. And the Young's modulus I have taken is 210 GPa, and the length of this particular beam is approximately 50 mm. You would say that the force acting on the plate will going to be somewhere here, So it will be like this, that I'm using a ballpoint pen. I would like to explain here that here the plate will going to be there. So if I'm removing, just try to explain this what I'm saying, that if I am going to take plate here, so it will be like this. There will be a plate which is connected to this particular point like this, and on this circular plate, sorry, a circular plate will be mounted like this. A circular plate will be mounted like this. Okay, so like this, yeah. Right. So doing this, what will going to happen is that on this particular plate, when the force will going to act, it will going to act as a point load at the end. Okay, it will going to act as a point load at the end. And so this plate, like on the arrow itself, if I'm going to draw this plate, yes, it is difficult to draw. uh, yes, on this plate I am applying the jet of force of the jet, and it is acting as a point force at the end. And then I'm going to use this formulation. I'm going to get the deflection. So the deflection I am getting is approximately 2 mm here. After doing the calculation, 1.9 something the value will be. And this condition is actually replicating the bending type of load cell. So in the next diagram, I'm showing you the bending type of load cell, in which you could understand that this load cell is fixed on one end. On the left hand side it is fixed, and I'm applying a load on the corner at this end. So when this load cell will going to deflect, it will going to bend the strain gauges which are placed at the top plane here and here. In the same way it is placed here and here. So this by using the bridge, Wheatstone bridge, you can calibrate the strain occurred in the system with the voltage, or you may say resistance change in the circuit. So by that you could calibrate the system. But ultimately what we are doing is how to manage that thing, how to understand that what could be the force acting on the body, and whether it is happening like that or not. You can even have this as a transient analysis. So this is the whole picture about the program of a problem we are talking about. So I am after this, yes. So the next part is to design the system. That is, I have opened the design modeler, and in that design modeler I have uh, made a nozzle first. This is the nozzle I'm talking about. So if I am going to see the picture of the nozzle, I'm removing the shaded overview. So this is how I have designed the nozzle. See, it is the, and it's a rotation body, a body of rotation. So half section has been drawn here, conversion section and the diverge section having 60 mm as a dia, inlet dia 20 and outlet dia 10, and the throat dia is 5. So it is 2.5, it is 10, and it is 5. So like that, if I am going to rotate this, it will going to give you the desired section. And initially I have given a place for initially I have given place for the pipe here to get to avoid the initial inlet turbulence at the starting of the nozzle. And then after that I have provided one big cylinder here, which is nothing but the environment, predicted environment, opening of the environment. And in that environment, if I'm going to see in the this kind of view, that is known as wireframe model, I have placed one body in front of it, which is at a distance of approximately 46 mm from the exit of the nozzle. From here to here it is approximately 46 mm. So the modeling I have done is like this, that first of all I have made this revolution body of revolution. Then after that, the next step is to make a body which is this is the envelope in which the fluid will going to expand. And then I have added one extension to the inlet of the nozzle. And then I have performed I have made one another body, which is this thing, that is the sketch I'm talking about. This is the part which has been drawn, and it has been extruded, and then I have performed a boolean operation. So this part was extracted out of this particular cylinder. So finally I got this part. In this part, at the center, at this particular point, we are having one hollow structure. Okay, so this hollow structure will going to act as an plate on which the fluid is striking. So this is the part of modeling what I have done. I think everyone can have different dimensions and they can make their own kind of control volume what I have extracted. Then after doing this, the next step is to do the meshing, which is very important because I have to give some names in that. I have to define the boundary conditions here. So in the boundary conditions, I'm just waiting for opening the slide. Yes, and I will also going to open the setup pre so that it will help to do the things fast. So this is the meshing I have done. If you are going to ask me which kind of meshing, so I have preferred face meshing here. So I go to mesh on right side insert, then I have done face meshing. I have selected face meshing. In the face mesh I have selected the whole body, and then I have used the default values, that is relevance 100%, and the relevance center is fine. So relevance center is fine. Then I have given the names to the different parts. So the most important thing what I have done is that which you have to take care about is say in the plate it I have selected this face. I have selected this face. You can see that I have selected only this particular face out of the whole volume, and I have given this name as plate hit. Plate hit means the price at which it will going to hit the body. The fluid will going to hit the body. यहाँ पर जाके ये body पे ये fluid जो है jet जो है वो strike करेगा. अब इसके बाद okay, then after that, what will going to happen? I am going to give other names like backside of this particular part. So I have given it as a wall. It should be act. It should act as a wall. This plate hit also is nothing but a wall. Okay. Then I have given the inlet. That is sorry. This is the inlet of the nozzle. Then this is the wall of complete structure, and then I have given this as an open structure that is open to atmosphere, and this one as an outlet. So these are the different phases which I have defined, out of which the most important thing is plated. This is the important thing which I have to consider because I have to transfer the solution from this to structural analysis to understand that what will going to happen if this kind of force will going to act on it. Okay, so this is the meshing part. So this is I have completed. After doing that, I will open up the next, that is pre-processing, and in pre-processing so this is pre-processing. The analysis type I have taken as steady state only. I have not taken transient state. You can do that also. Then in the default domain, I have taken the fluid as water. I want more effective forces to be acted on the plate, and reference pressure is taken as 1 atmospheric pressure. Then in fluid model, I have not taken any heat transfer model, and in turbulence model I have taken k epsilon. Initial condition I have given the same velocity at 21.5, although I have written as 21, it is 21.5 actually. Okay, after that boundary 1 I have taken the boundary 1, inserted boundary 1, taken inlet as a boundary condition, and in inlet I have selected the inlet phase, and then I have defined the velocity 21. After doing that, I have applied it. Then again, I have gone for insert boundary 2, and in that boundary 2, I have given the name in which I have selected the wall of the nozzle and the inlet of this particular environmental plate. So this is the part which I have taken as a wall. So it is an wall which is having smooth surface, and then I have clicked OK to it. In the same way, then I have defined open. This open will going to have the opening type of boundary type, so it will going to open to atmosphere. So I have taken relative pressure equals to 0, and again I have applied it. Then I have selected out one is as an outlet in which I have taken static pressure, which is again equals to 0 because we have taken reference pressure equals to 0, sorry, equals to 1 atmospheric pressure. Then the last one, it is plate hit. One separately defined wall was taken here, in which you can see the green color shows that this plate has been selected, and I have taken it as a wall only. There is nothing special defined in it. The only thing is I have selected this space separately. Now after doing this, the next step is to define the convergence criteria. I have taken number of iterations equals to 10,000. Convergence criteria is 1 e to the power of minus 4, and turbulence numerics I have to use in its first order only. So I have defined all the boundary conditions for the problem, and then I will going to solve it. After solving it, After solving it, after the solution has been done, just I have to click update, and then it will going to start, and then after completion this will going to be a tick mark, and then I am going to click the result part. So in the result part, the understanding what we are having, that is in the throat the pressure will going to reduce, and velocity will going to increase, and further it will going to match the atmospheric pressure which is at the opening, that is at the exit of the body. So this is how it will going to look like. So yes, this is how it will going to look like. And you could see that when I have drawn a chart in which pressure has been taken, so initially it is having certain pressure, then it is getting dropped up to -4 e to the power of -7, then it is again reaching up to certain level. Okay, it is again reaching up to certain level, and at this particular point where I am putting the cursor, okay, where I am putting the cursor, this place is where the fluid is hitting the plate. Otherwise it has been achieved the atmospheric pressure 0 here, relative pressure 0 here at this particular point. Here we are having the exit. Okay, here we are having the exit. Now if I am going to take velocity as a variable in the x direction, and I am going to draw it, so you could see that the velocity is increasing up to 3, it's not 343, so I have not achieved Mach number equals to 1, it is still below the Mach number, still below the 1 value. So if I'm going to draw the Mach number curve, you could understand that. So if I am selecting Mach number as a variable and then drawing the graph, so you could see the value is approximately 0.89 I think. Mach number achieved at throat is 0.89. The maximum Mach number in the CD nozzle we have achieved is approximately zero point 0.9. Now, so this is how the fluid pressure and velocity is bearing on it. Now if I want to know that what is the value of pressure acting on this particular plate, so for that what I have to do is I have to select the maximum value, or may say yes, maximum value, and then the plane is plate hit, the boundary type name is plate hit, and then I'm clicking the pressure and I'm calculating it. So the value is 2.99 e to the power of 6 Pascal. 2.99 e to the power of 6 Pascal is the value for the pressure acting on this particular plate. So if you want to see that, we can have that contour also just by clicking replacing the boundary location, and then changing the pressure variable as a variable acting on it. You could see this is how the pressure is acting on this particular plate, and the maximum magnitude is 2.99 e to the power of 6 pascals. So this is the pressure which we are going to apply on the structural analysis. So for doing that, so I'm going to close this one. Okay, then on the solution I'm going to click right click. Okay, and then I'm going to start transfer data to new static structural. As soon as I'm going to click that, this part will going to be there. You may do the same thing this like this also. I am dragging one static structural part from the toolbox, and then I am dragging solution from this to here like this, and then I'm dragging the geometry, okay, from here to here separately. That the reason behind doing this is because the geometry which we have already drawn in for CFD analysis will not going to work for this type of work. For doing that, you have to design a separate geometry. So for that, what I've done is I know the coordinates, that what are the coordinates at which this particular beam has been drawn, or this particular plate has been drawn, and accordingly I have modeled this particular plate on this. See, you could see I have just copied the plate, and I have made this same simple model in the same axis in same direction. Okay, like this is having the diameter equals to 25. So you could see here that this is what I have made. So I have extracted this particular part and added a new part, added a new body here on this particular plate, because if you remember in the previous geometry, only circular plate is there with a certain thickness, but here what I have done is I have added one extended beam to it like this. I have added extended beam to to this body, the circular plate. so that I could create a part, or you may say create a geometry which will going to resemble as a cantilever beam. Okay, so like this I have made the beam, and then I have initiated the model, that is static structural model. When I'm going to click the model, I have set up the boundary conditions for the static structural. So it is simple to transfer the data from one kind of analysis to another, that is from CFD to static structure. You just have to click on the solution, right click it, and in the that you are going to see transfer data to new. So you are having lots of different type of modules here. So you can transfer the same thing to steady structural, you can transfer to transient structural, you can transfer to thermal electrical, you can transfer to other type of flows also. So like that. So when I'm going to open this, you could see only this geometry is there, and by default the material of the geometry is structural steel, and in that I have defined this surface as a fixed support. So when I want to click on the geometry on the static structural part, I am having these options, support option. So I'm clicking on the support option, I am using fixed, and then I'm going to select this part, and I'm going to click OK. So if I'm going to select fixed like this and going to select this part, apply, and then apply, so it will going to make a fixed support. I'm deleting that, there is no need to do that. Now in the same way, now the next step is to import the pressure. So by default you are going to have this icon, okay, in the tree, and in that you are going to see the imported pressure part. So in this particular part you have to select the face on which you want to work. So what I have done is I have selected a face, and then I have clicked on this particular part which is acting in front of the jet. So after selecting this face, I have clicked apply it on it, and then in the transfer definition there are different CFD surfaces. So you can see here that we are having boundary 1, boundary 2, open, out, plated. So out of this, the pressure acting on which surface do you want to transfer? So I want to transfer the force acting on plated. So I have selected this part. If you want to transfer the pressure acting on boundary 1, that is at the inlet only, so you're going to select boundary 1. So instead of that, I am selecting plated because I have separately defined those forces there. So now I am going to do this. I am importing this plated values to the system. So when I'm going to do that, I'm going to import and I'm going to update it. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to click update it. Okay, import the load. So when I'm going to import the load, this will going to interpolate the data between the two values, and you might see that here that how the pressure which we have seen on the contour in CMD analysis has been implemented on this particular face. Yes, see, so this is how it has been implemented. Now after doing that, you are going to run the analysis. Okay, you are going definitely you are going to define the mesh, that is relevance equals to 100, then sizing in relevance center I am going to select the fine, and you may increase the accuracy by increasing the mesh as per your choice and as per your system capability. And after doing that, I have received some results. So what I'm doing is I'm just refreshing my analysis part, because it will be easier to call the previous results instead of running the analysis. It will going to save time. So I'm opening the result of the structural analysis I have done using the result of previous analysis. Okay, so be sure of one thing, that you must have the boundary, you must have the boundary of the same name you want to transfer in the another analysis. That will going to help you to remember that the data has been transferred, or the right data will going to be transferred on the surface. Now this approach was very simple actually. You may have a complicated approach in which there is no need to have a separate model like this what I have drawn. Instead of that, you can use the same model to make the analysis by while doing the Boolean operation. You just have to save the tool body. You don't have to delete the tool body, you must save the tool body. So by doing that, what will going to happen, you are going to have the geometry useful for the another analysis without creating another new geometry. So when I'm clicking on it, see the this is how the plate will going to uh, act. So in the solution part, I have clicked the deformation. So I have added this total deformation. In the same way, I have clicked the stress, and so I have clicked the equivalent bond mass stress. If you want to measure maximum shear stress, you can do that also. If you want to measure the safety factor, you can do that also just by clicking right click on the solution and then clicking the different solutions you are having in this menu, and then you are going to solve it. So after solving it, this will going to give you the results here. So this is the maximum shear diagram, in which you could understand that maximum shear is occurring only at the boundary, at the fixed point, and the equivalent stresses we are having 1349 as an equivalent stress occurring on this particular plate. Definitely this will going to happen, and the total deformation I'm having is 3.708 mm. Now if I'm going to see the factor of safety, you could see that the factor of safety at the plate face, it is less, it is equals to 15, but as you are moving above, the factor of safety is less than 1. Why? Because this cross section is too small and the forces acting on it is very high. So by this you could understand that if you are going to make a probe of this size, this small size, okay, what will going to happen? This probe will not going to withstand the forces acting on it. So what you can do is you can optimize the system, you can optimize the velocity one by one. Iteration you have to do, you could reduce the velocity, you can change the fluid type by one by one, and by that you can have different set of results for different kind of fluid. What will going to happen for the same velocity, for different, for the same kind of fluid, what will going to happen for different kind of velocities, what it will going to happen in case of subsonic outlet, what it will going to happen for supersonic output, how it will going to behave, and which kind of material will going to withstand. So these kind of iterations you can do. So this type of analysis actually helps you to save uh, memory, and you can do such analysis on small systems. But if you are going to integrate many things, like if you are going to perform analysis which are based on parameter correlation, which is there in ANSYS, you requires you required more amount of computational power. This kind of approach reduces the complexity. Okay, this is less complex way to perform the same analysis. In the next video, I would try to show you that how to perform the same analysis by increasing the complexity of geometry of the mesh, okay, and by using the different parameters. So this is the conclusion what we are going to get is that the total deformation is 3.7 mm. The analysis when I have performed, or for the while doing the calculations, the deformation I am getting in the using the conventional values, that is approximately 1.90 mm. This is the value 1.90 FL cube by EI, 3 EI, the formula I have used. Using that, the values I am getting is 1.90, that is the deflection. And the deflection I am getting here is approximately 3.7, okay, which is nearby twice the value of the theoretical value, little bit lesser than 2 times. Okay, so if you want to optimize this, definitely you require more precise modeling. Okay, and now if you're going to see some other calculations, like, so if I'm going to see the forces acting on the body, that is on the plate. So by the calculation done by ANSYS, the force acting on the body, that is the pressure acting on the body is 3 to the power of 6 Pascal, and by dividing it, multiplying it with the area of that particular plate, that is coming about 1464 Newton. This is 1464 Newton. This part is 1464 Newton. And by doing the theoretical calculations by using continuity equation, the value is coming about 1687 Newton. This is the value of forces And considering when due to the exposure of jet to the atmosphere, there will be approximately 10 to 15% loss of energy due to sudden reduction, deceleration, you may say. Okay, so further you require lots of other information regarding the same kind of system. So you may resolve the problem with more precise equations. Okay, using the energy method, you can directly uh, calculate the value of velocity by using the energy acting on that particular place. Using the concept of kinetic energy, you can also solve the problem. Okay, so these are the different approaches which can be used for analyzing or for designing a simple probe. And you can do this thing for different kind of forces. You can fix the upper and lower limit. By this analysis you could understand it that okay, material will going to deform, so either you have to change the material or either you have to reduce the stress. So this is what I want to convey from this particular experiment. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.